Hello, this is Steve Sines with Explore ATL Tours, doing a series of videos to help people envision what the city of Atlanta is going to look like in the future. This particular series focuses on Beltline transit. I'm doing videos from all the proposed transit stops to give people a sense of what's happening and what this might look like in the future. So I'm at what's called Murphy's Crossing, or Murphy Crossing. And the reason it's called Murphy Crossing is because of the road right here in front of me, which is Murphy Avenue. Murphy Avenue goes north and south, and it runs parallel with the north-south MARTA line, otherwise known as the gold and red line, or red and gold line. This is the MARTA line that goes south from here all the way to the airport. So lots of things happening right here. I've been calling this sort of ground zero for West Side transformation now for almost 5 years since I've been doing these tours. The property straight across, see the big warehouses over in that area here? That is actually the property that's called Murphy Crossing, also known as Murphy Triangle. It currently is about 20 acres of mostly warehouses, just like you see straight ahead here, that are owned by the Atlanta Beltline Incorporated, ABI. And as you can see, it's right on the West Side Trail. So very strategic piece of property for a number of reasons, one of which, of course, is that it's right on the West Side Trail. The other is, I mean, just its sheer size. At 20 acres, Atlanta Beltline's got a lot of options there. In fact, I understand they're trying to acquire additional property, which may ultimately make it as much as 40 acres. But, and speaking of development, I've also heard, just through the grapevine, this is unofficial, but I believe that the Atlanta Beltline will be making an announcement very soon about Murphy Crossing. My understanding is they may have come to an agreement with a developer to sort of lead the development effort of that property. And if that's the case, that would be very significant, because we've been waiting for an announcement about Murphy Crossing now for years. Again, the size of the property and the strategic location make it a very important, what I call a transformative development for this area. But here's, in terms of transit, this is what's important about this area right here. Again, that's the West Side Trail right there. That's the 14-foot multi-use trail that opened in September of 2017. And you can probably tell if you're here, but it actually goes through a tunnel that goes right underneath Murphy Avenue. Underneath this, I'm standing right next to a freight train tracks that go north and south that are parallel with this MARTA line. So that tunnel goes all the way underneath here, and I don't know if you can see in the little bit straight ahead there, goes underneath Lee Street, which is on the other side, and continues on its way up toward the Kroger. Okay, that red brick building to my, well, straight ahead, that's north and west of me, is the Lee and White development, and that's where Monday Night Brewing's garage is, the Monday Night Garage. That is a development that's owned by Stream Realty. Remember that name, Stream Realty. You may be hearing it again in the near future. And they own Lee and White, and they are in the process of developing that, what's called Warehouse Row. So again, from a transit standpoint, what's important, hugely important about this location right here, is the fact that the Beltline, which is a light rail transit system, will be going right underneath the MARTA heavy rail system. So that connection between Beltline Rail, Beltline Transit, and MARTA Transit is huge. At one time, there was talk about building what they call an infill station. MARTA was going to build an infill station right here. That's a small MARTA station between two existing stations. And by the way, just north of here, about half a mile north, is West End MARTA station. That's where the Metropolitan development is, another huge transformative development that's being led by Carter. And then just south of here, about half a mile, is the Oakland City Transit Station, right? So the Beltline runs right between those two MARTA stations. This infill station was going to serve the connecting point between Beltline Transit and MARTA Transit. I don't think that infill station is going to happen anytime soon. It was not part of the more MARTA final list that was passed passed recently. So I don't think we're going to see an infill station here, but there will undoubtedly be some type of a connecting service maybe circulator buses or some other type of rail, maybe a light rail system that would allow people to get from Beltline rail, which goes right underneath here, over to West End Station. It's north of here, and Oakland City Station, which is south of here. So anyway, very key piece of property, very key location. Keep an eye and ear out for announcements on Murphy Crossing, and keep an eye and an ear out for future developments at Lee and White. Things are beginning to pick up steam over there. And then, of course, keep an eye and an ear out for announcements about, the time frame for the Beltline transit system, which has now been approved to come through this area. This is Steve Signs with Explore ATL Tours. Hope you find these videos helpful.